Hey guys, Zen here, and Year 6 has kicked off to an incredible first season here for Rainbow Six Siege, but that doesn't mean it's been perfect. Some players are not happy about some of the decisions that have been made recently, and there's also been some absolutely game-breaking bugs that have made it challenging to be effective. Now, even with that being said, Rainbow Six Siege has hit an all-time high as far as player interest, and so altogether, there is a lot to unpack in this video, and honestly, some of the strangest updates in a while. And so guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. There's always more content to look forward to, and let's dive in. But just before we do, I want to celebrate with you, the community, and Ridge Wallet, because believe it or not, it's their 8th anniversary, and they were kind enough to sponsor this video. So father and son team Daniel and Paul Kane launched the Ridge Wallet on Kickstarter and are celebrating the 8th anniversary of the successful funding and launch of ridgewallet.com. Now, just in case you've been living under a rock, the Ridge Wallet is the evolution of your typical wallet and slims down to the perfect front pocket style piece that carries all the essentials. It's got room for 12 cards, and if you're needing to carry cash, they offer it with either the cash strap or the money clip. Now, with over 1 million wallets sold, there is a buzz about this one, and to celebrate, Ridge is doing a 15% off discount across the entire store until March 23rd. It's essentially Black Friday, but in March. And so guys, if you click the link at the top of the description, you can pick up a Ridge wallet over at ridge.com/zen, and you'll get 15% off your order with code CELEBRATE. Since the Kickstarter, there's dozens of new colors, and your Ridge is guaranteed for life. And so find out more below today, and thanks to Ridge for sponsoring the video. All right, so something happened recently that actually shocked some throughout the community and even surprised myself to an extent, but Rainbow Six Siege set an all-time record and had its highest concurrent player count ever on Steam with 200,000 unique players. So Crimson Heist is an exciting season for sure, and Flores is a powerful new addition, but nothing here is like shattering records, and so it's kind of crazy to think that of all time, this has been Siege at its highest point, at least for Steam. Now, I think what it comes down to is that the Year 6 panel was stuffed with huge announcements. Everything from attacker repick, after death activities, multiple reworks like Goyle, Malusi, and Outback, and even things like elite customization. And when you add it all up, this is the stuff people want to see in the game. After those reveals, the interest behind it just went through the roof, and I think a lot of people expected most of this stuff like here with season 1, and everybody jumped in to get involved. And so even if it's not all here right now, and to be honest, I think some would be a little overwhelmed if it was, but yeah, even though it isn't, it shows that there is a large audience of people that have interest in the changes coming to Siege and want to be there when it's received. I think it also means that the new experience that Siege is heading up and the direction they're taking it is promising, and some people just want to see it through. And so yeah, I know there are some people that have thought Siege has seen its best days and some darker characters that prey on its downfall, but it just had its highest point yet, again, at least for Steam, which is honestly a beefy W. Next up is one of the strangest problems that I've personally ever experienced in Siege, and it's finally come to light that a lot of other people are also feeling this. There is a recoil change like nothing I've ever felt in the game right now, and it's next to impossible to display for you guys. So basically, as you're firing your weapon, there's obviously recoil. I mean, this is the basics. To compensate, you pull down and try to stay on target, and for every other season and previous patch, this was just fine. But here and now, when you go to pull down, just after the first few bullets fly, it's almost like the recoil tugs down by itself for a quick second, and there's no way to predict it. Now, like I said, guys, it's next to impossible to show for you guys on screen. It really has to be felt. But when you do feel it, you'll notice it with at least every gun I've tried it with, and there's just something off. Now, I'm a bit apprehensive to call it a bug because the recoil was getting a slight adjustment this season, and to be fair, almost every season they fine-tune it, but to just randomly jerk down makes it kind of game-breaking, and there are a lot of people filled with rage over this. So from what I've heard, there are some workarounds or quick fixes that have been circling around, but they require you to go into the game files and mess with settings that aren't totally clear, and so I don't recommend it personally. But Ubisoft came out and announced that they're seeing the feedback and have updated the test server for further insight here. Now, depending on when you're seeing this, it could be resolved, but some are still saying that it's not totally viable in the test server, and so it might just need more time. Either way, I just had to bring this up because it feels so weird when it happens, and I'm not totally convinced the devs really knew exactly what caused it, and so the change could pop up again at some point in the future. But hopefully, it's a thing of the past here, and pulling down isn't compensated by the game, which is just odd to say. Moving on, there's a few bugs that launched with Crimson Heist that a lot of people have been talking about. First, you might spawn with one less drone on the attacking side because on the new border, there's a drone spawn that gets stuck in a vent. It's incredibly frustrating, but it's an obvious bug and should be squished. Next is another issue, but it has to do with angles. So if you melee an angle and then go to peek it, there's some kind of body glitch that keeps your body there for a second while you're able to move and peek, and it almost acts like you're invisible to some degree and makes it tough for someone to hit with shots. I swear guys, these are super hard to detail because it's just very situational and also subtle to some degree, but I just wanted to let those who've experienced know that you're not alone here. Now, Now, outside of these few issues, I think this has been one of the most successful launches of a new season in a while, and the experience has been pretty consistent. And so, lastly for this video, I want to talk a bit about one of the more controversial topics that have popped up for Rainbow Six Siege. Now, as we're all aware, Year 6 is not only changing some of the fundamental game mechanics of the game, but also how new content is being rolled out and delivered to the player is going through a change as well. The new operator in the Battle Pass is one area where there are some players just not vibing with it, and it's understandable. The norm for the last 5 years has been the Year's Pass that grants access to every new operator throughout the whole year and a few other goodies. But now that Ubisoft has completely done away with it, the new operator has been placed in the Battle Pass as part of the premium track and given an extra week of exclusivity for those that pick it up. Now, for me, as someone who bought the Year's Pass each and every year and picked it up right at the start of the year, a player like that is always maximizing the value. You get every new operator early, you get the bonuses, and yeah, it works out. But if you were someone who didn't pick it up until Season 2, you basically missed out on an entire season of value, and then even less for Season 3, and my heart goes out to those who would pick up a full Year's Pass in Season 4. Of course, you did get instant access to that year's new ops, but you missed out on the early offer and a whole year's worth of extras. Now, especially when you look at this last year, we got the Battle Passes, and so on top of the full Year's Pass, you also had to pick up a Battle Pass if you wanted to maximize loot, which was a lot of upfront costs to get everything the year had to offer. I think with the change of moving the operator to the Battle Pass, it makes the new content far more accessible and streamlines what's required to gain access to everything. If you're someone new and you're wondering about how to get the latest gear and operator, well, all you have to do is pick up a Battle Pass and you get everything in one box at the price of what the Battle Pass has always been, which I think is a ton of value. Now, yes, they did move away from the VIP Renown bonus, and I get why that would sting a little bit, but I think it's just easier here and simpler to get everything. I don't know, for me, it's less hoops to jump through, and ultimately everything is still there, but some people don't see it in that light, and I get that, and so yeah. But that's the video today, guys. If you loved it, drop a like and subscribe with notifications if the button is still red. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.